I know my people now don't hear the kind gbege, the kind secret plans when they say they get for Nigerians on or before May 29th. Hey, they just discover this one. DSS just discover serious plans where they get what go happen for Nigeria. My people, I use God beg una. No be time for party. No be time to buy wig, sew clothes. Make una go stock una house. I no come panic una. I no come put fear. Go and stock your homes, please, please. Yoruba go say, "Come bawa lo jiji." You know, says wetin you know. You go know how to prepare, plan towards them. Then you come take you on our way. I use God beg you. My people, that is why when we're saying, when some people they agitate for Yoruba nation, Biafra, now say our mouth they smell. It don't reach ground now. She if for no better say the kukuma divide, make everybody go down. This one will happen so. Now we know it's in there. When I watch the video, as they watch and share them. May God help us. Hey, my people, no come panic now. Stock your homes now.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. So let's tell you that the Department of State Services, the DSS, says that the plots to set aside the Constitution and install an interim government by what the organization described as misguided political actors is real. The DSS spokesperson today, Peter Afunaya, released a statement where he says the DSS has vowed that the secret police will use all arsenals at its disposal to frustrate such plot. The secret police is also saying that some key players in the plot for an interim government in Nigeria have been identified. In a follow-up statement on earlier today, the DSS had said that they did not quite mention any politician, but they say that some key players are being identified in the plots to cause an interim government in Nigeria. The DSS is also saying that the plot being pursued by these entrenched interests is not only an aberration but a mischievous way to set aside the Constitution and undermine civil rule in Nigeria, warning that such will plunge the country into an avoidable crisis. In a statement by the DSS, they say, quote, the planners in their many meetings have weighed various options, which include, among others, to sponsor endless violent mass protests in major cities to warrant a declaration of state of emergency. Another is to obtain frivolous court injunctions to forestall the inauguration of new executive administrations and legislative houses at the federal and state levels. This particular matter raised by the DSS gets us talking tonight is a major issue that should concern everyone. What are the intentions of these people who are having these clandestine meetings to achieve an interim government? What does this mean? What are the possible implications of these, and what is the state doing to be able to ensure that there is peace in the land? I'll be getting some insights into that matter and get some expert opinions on this matter. But let's get some insight now. I'm being joined by security expert, in fact, a scholar in violent extremism. He's also a senior fellow with the Tony Blair Foundation. He joins us live from London, Mr. Bulama Bukati. Thank you so much, Mr. Bukati, for joining us tonight. Give us a sense of what this means. Does this raise any kind of worry or tension in the land?
Thank you very much, Sean. This is a very, very serious matter. As you alluded on the top of your introduction, what the DSS is saying is essentially that some people are planning to wage a war against Nigeria. This move is undemocratic, it is illegal, it is unconstitutional. Section 1 of our constitution is very clear that no, Nigeria cannot be ruled, neither any part of Nigeria can be ruled other than through constitutional means. And the only means recognized by the constitution is for people to win elections and to be duly inaugurated by the authorities stipulated by law. And therefore, it is unconstitutional. It is also criminal, because what these individuals are planning is potentially what is called treason under our criminal laws, and it is punishable by death. It carries the death penalty, which shows that it is one of the most heinous crimes in Nigeria. Now, of course, the fact that this statement is coming from the DSS gives me hope, but also gives me concern. The concern is that the fact that the statement is coming from the DSS means that this is a very, very serious matter. It is a damn serious matter, because we know that the DSS has never been reckless with statements like this. They are always serious, they are professional in what they are doing, and now that they are coming out with this statement, it shows that they do have hard evidence that some individuals are unfortunately planning to do something untoward, which will throw our country into chaos. Now, the positive side of the statement coming from the DSS is that since it came from them, it shows that the DSS and other security agencies are on top of the matter. And we know that the DSS has always been very good in gathering information and sharing it with authorities. And therefore, what we will call on security and law enforcement agents is to take this intel very seriously and to take all steps within the bounds of the law to rattle this illegal, unconstitutional, anti-Nigerian attempt.
So, I mean, if you look at what this means, so you look at it, they stated it in that statement and said, part of it, the DSS clearly stated that these meetings have been going on for some time, and there are options on the table for these persons. If the DSS is coming out in this manner, it does look to me that they have a lot of intel. They've gathered enough information, and they've been tracking some of these persons. And they said that their plans include, amongst others, to sponsor endless violent mass protests in major cities. And this, according to them, to cause a declaration of the state of emergency in Nigeria. Another one is a frivolous court injunctions to forestall the inauguration of the new executive administration and legislative houses at the federal and state levels. So the question is, you are a lawyer equally. Can anyone get any injunction from any court in Nigeria to stop the inauguration of a government that is elected, or a president-elect, a governor-elect in Nigeria?
Look, so the DSS is talking about two methods, like you said. One is violent mass protest. Let's be clear that protest, which is peaceful, sensible, and orderly, is constitutional, and every Nigerian has a right to stage that kind of protest, including on Inauguration Day. But it has to be peaceful, it has to be sensible, it has to be orderly. However, where protest becomes violent, then it becomes completely illegal. And where the violence is intended to disrupt an inauguration, then it becomes treason that carries, like I said, the death penalty. Now, regarding courts, the law is very clear. The Electoral Act is very clear that no court can give an injunction to stop an inauguration. But unfortunately, Shaun, we have seen judges and courts in Nigeria using indiscriminately their power to issue ex parte orders. One example recently was the order that was granted to the two main opposition parties to inspect INEC's materials. That is ordinarily legal. But because the court gave this injunction ex parte, that is, it had only one party for those of us who may not be lawyers, without hearing from INEC and other stakeholders, it ended up giving an order that stopped INEC from clearing the rivers so that governorship elections could take place. And what happened at the end of it? INEC had to go and apply before the court and explain to the court why the injunction it gave is going to stop our elections. Only then did the court vacate that order and allowed INEC to clear the beavers and reconfigure it for the state elections. Now, even at that, INEC had to postpone the election by 1 week. That is one danger of ex parte application. Shaun, another example is the June 12th. During the June 12th, court orders, ex parte court orders contributed tremendously in aborting the June 12th. because there were two conflicting court orders. One court gave an order for the counting of the ballots during June 12 to be stopped. That's in the 1992 elections. And another court gave an order that the counting should continue. And at the end of it, the election was annulled by the military administration. That's another case of ex parte injunction playing a role in rattling our country's democracy. And therefore, what I would urge judicial officers to do is to exercise their powers to order or issue ex parte orders judiciously and sensibly. Let them have the interests of our country in mind as they issue ex parte orders. Anything that will stop inauguration or that will disrupt or destroy our democracy must be resisted.
I've since been joined by the national chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, Alhaji Yabaji Sani. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Shehu.
So you've seen the part of that statement, which I'd like our viewers to take a look at again. And I mean, the DSS has restated what its fears are. It says that it's gathered enough intel to tell the nation what is in plan of the sleeves of those who calls that they say that those who are mischievous in their ways. That's how the DSS described them. They said these planners in their meetings have weighed various options, which include, amongst others, to sponsor endless violent mass protests in major cities to warrant a declaration of state of emergency. Another is to obtain frivolous court injunctions to forestall the inauguration of new executive administrations and legislative houses at the federal and state levels. How did this come to you in the first place, Alhaji Yabaji Sani?
Well, to say the least, it's an embarrassment, really, because I believe that the DSS, the constitutional, the agency that is in charge of gathering intelligence and then passing intelligence to other agencies that are supposed to take action, and I don't think it serves the purpose of this country for the DSS to come and make these pronouncements in the manner they are making it. What would have made sense to us is that so person is involved, so person has been arrested or is under interrogation or whatever action has been taken. What do we do as politicians or as citizens of the country? We can't do nothing.
Could it be politicians behind this?
Nobody's above the law.
No, I'm saying, could it be politicians?
Yes, they say key players in the. So
it's likely to be politicians.
But whoever the person is, if they know that the person is doing something that is untoward to democracy, that will scuttle what we are, all this process, I think the sensible thing to do or the lawful thing to do is to take back the person into custody, ask him questions. They could come out and say that, well, so person has been found to be in this, and we have asked questions, has been released or whatever it is. But to make these, pronouncements to further create some kind of tension, some kind of crisis, that as if we are not in control of the situation, does not really meet the requirement of what I believe.
Let's assume something here, Alhaji Yabaji Sani.
Yes.
You are a key opposition voice in this country.
Yes.
You are the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council.
Yes.
If there is an arrest of a key political figure within this period, do you think it could raise more tension rather than putting out the information? I'm just looking at the options that the DSS may have weighed.
Yes.
If you arrest these persons, it may create more tension in the land.
Yes.
Let's manage the communication and put in information out there to be able to kill that idea. Between that and this one that you said, which one would have caused more harm?
Well, each one has its own advantage and disadvantage. All I'm saying is that you don't just take somebody and then lock the sub-party. I'm not saying locking up anybody, but it may serve, the purpose of deterrent. If you mention that this person, although I had them mentioned in the reports that the DSS, whether DSS or the reporter was just quoting that Dati Baba Ahmed, say something that the president-elect should not be sworn in. So Are they talking about Dr. Baba Ahmed? You know, and I don't think the law enforcement officers should shy away from their responsibilities to demonstrate that nobody's above the law. That's the point I'm trying to make. I know that if you start arresting, like you said, you know, opposition politicians, it will send a wrong signal. Maybe to some people they will say maybe it's witch hunting, and then what have you. But a case, look at what happened in the United States, January 6, when Trump wanted to interfere with the process of inauguration of Biden. You know, something happened. They took action. You know, so I believe that as much as we give, you know, we commend the effort of the DSS, but I think they should go beyond that. You know, because I as a citizen, what can we do? You know, we can only say, okay, maybe we are in trouble. And then what do we do? So this democracy is too precious, you know. And if there's anybody that should protect and then really advance the cause of democracy, it is the agencies that are put in place to do just that. You know, we have them. The police are there. The DSS, like we say, is there. Even the presidency, they have a role to play, because every agency that we are talking about, they are under the presidency. So perhaps, I don't know, maybe time has come for Mr. President to say something. To rather reassure.
You know, Alaji Sani, that this is not the first time we are hearing interim government. Yeah. Before the election,
yes,
there were those talks, those who said that there are plans by some elements in the country that elections should not hold in February.
Yes.
And their plans and ultimate agenda is to cause an interim government and to cause chaos in the land.
Yes.
I mean, this is coming up again.
Yes, it's coming up again because the election itself was not conducted in a manner that most Nigerians expected to be conducted. So if anything like this is happening, if people are calling for this kind of, you know, undemocratic means of government, it's because the agency that's supposed to conduct elections did not meet the requirement, the expectation of the people. You know, and they raised the expectation of Nigerians too high, and they delivered so little. So this is why, and then nobody, like the DSS or the police or somebody, has come out on the side of the people to say that what these people did is not right. Maybe it hasn't gotten to that, but the point, I'm not in any way supporting the interim, you know, government or whatever undemocratic, you know, system you want to bring to play. But there is responsibility that everybody in the system, you know, supposed to be accountable for. And in our own case as Democrats, we don't want anything that will scuttle what we are doing. Let the process take its course.
Yeah.
It's now before the courts. Let the courts come out and do the needful. That is, educate, you know, and we are saying the courts should not rely on technicalities, because technicalities does not make any sense to an average Nigerian. You know, what it tells Nigerians is that you are trying to hide something, or you are trying to compromise, you know, or, you know, favor somebody, you know, in a way that is not in tune with the expectation of the people.
Let me bring